So I was researching schools in 10th grade. I was just seeing like potential schools. I had like a criteria originally, like schools to check out for Jewish life. I wanted a big campus. I wanted it not so far from home. And I found Maryland. I mean, it kind of matched everything. And yeah, I mean, then I started to learn more about it, spoke to people there, visited, researched, alumni a little bit, to see like where people have gone from there, how the business school is, because I wanted to do that, still want to. And yeah, I always knew it was a reach for me. But thank God I achieved it. So SAT, I was always very stressed about it. It was something that was always on the back of my head, regardless of what I was doing. I was just thinking about SAT, I got to get a good score, I got to get a good score. And I came into Revolution Tutors before I signed up. I was getting around like a 990, 1010 in that range. But then I ended up submitting a 1280 to Maryland. And I think Revolution had was a big contributor for that. I improved my score a lot. I liked how they drilled me. They really, I liked how every single week I came in, we went over last week's problems, and a lot of it's doing it on your own time also. It's all about commitment, so I did that. Really helped. So in our first meeting, we spoke about what schools we were going to apply to, and see if there were any potential reach schools or safety schools. And we came up with a nice list of about 10 schools. And I could say Maryland was probably the furthest reach for me, but we had a lot of safety schools like the CUNYs and some NYU maybe, and we had GW in there. But anyway, so we had a list and we looked at the requirements for each school, and from there we were every single, like I started meeting with him about like once every 2 weeks, and at each meeting we'd write supplements for a specific college, and then we'd meet next week and write a different supplement for that college, and we'd go over it, and then when we'd submit it we'd just pray. But so we did about, I would say, 10 essays together, and thought that was really helpful. I applied to 12 schools and I got into 11 of them, and I would say that we did about 8 of those 12 were hard, deep written supplements with me and him. We really worked hard to do that. So it was a reach for me. So I had to figure out how to get myself stand out to this school. And we were just looking at who the regional advisors, and this guy, Byron Gittins, came to Flatbush, and he was representing the northeast side of America to try to get them to apply to Maryland. So we got this guy's email address, and I started pumping it with emails. I would say how interested I am and how often I visited, and I would ask him like what else I have to do. Is there anything specific I should do to give myself a higher higher chance of getting in? And I would basically tell him that if I get in, I'm going. And I feel like that's what he wanted to hear. And I would get answers from him like, thank you for your feedback. But I thought they were a little bit of a generic answers, but he was really answering me. And I think that was a big part of how I got in. So you build a relationship with your person, and not necessarily, you build a relationship with the company, and you really trust them to do what you want. And in high school, the high school college guidance, they're working with many people each. There's probably 6 counselors for a grade of 150, and they don't really know who you are personally. And in Revolution, you kind of build a relationship, and you really tell them what you want, and you tell them where you want to go. But I feel like in the Flatbush College Guidance, it's more of like we have your grades, and this is where we want you to apply. Whereas in Revolution, you would tell them where you want to apply, and they'd help you get there. Flatbush, they wouldn't really let you like apply to a reach school.